Coach, you have 5 players on this team who have received Big East preseason honors. I asked a lot of them about what that means to them. A lot of them said, they still have a lot to prove this year. But what does that mean to have that recognition for those players?
It's obviously quite a compliment to them. It's except for KK, it's more a recognition of some hard work that they've put in already and some of their accomplishments. When you play on a really, really good team, things like this happen. And I believe they're right in that with these kinds of accolades comes a tremendous amount of responsibility that you have to live up to now. So I think all that is a huge positive.
And speaking of KK, for her, since she's coming into her freshman year, what has she done up to this point to receive an honor like this?
Nothing. She was really, really good in high school. She was ranked really, really high coming out of high school. And so all the coaches went, ooh, she must be really, really good. They watched her play, and they know that she's really talented and really tough kid. But up to this point, the guys that have already played, they have a legitimate reason why they're on there. For KK, this is like we think you're the person. We're not quite sure, but we think we are. We think you are. But we thought Yana Patterson was last year. And, things didn't break that same way for a lot of different reasons. So being given that for KK, I think is a vote on what we think the potential that she has is. And now, hopefully, you cross your fingers and say, hey, she can live up to, that view of her.
For Paige, she told me that these preseason honors, of course, don't mean much until you start playing. But she did say, coming off of the injury the year before, the adversity that she's faced, she is grateful for it. What do you think that an honor like this does for her confidence, for her mentality going into the year?
As a matter of fact, I didn't know she said that, but I said the same thing when I was out there, that she's going to take it as, I haven't played in so long, that for people to think that I can come back and be that is an incredible, validation of who she is and what they think she is. And I know that if anyone would be grateful and thankful and appreciative, it would be Paige. So Paige isn't going to go out there and try to prove to anybody that she's Player of the Year. I think Paige just wants to go out there and make sure we win the regular season, win the tournament, and win the national championship. So that's just Paige being Paige.
Last one for you, Coach. Last season, we saw the most teams in the Big East make it to the NCAA tournament. Of course, you've won the league and the tournament the past 3 seasons, but what have you seen as far as the growth in the Big East over the past few years and the level of competition, how that has risen?
Well, the competition's been terrific because, as you saw, we lost at Marquette, we lost St. John's at home, and that hadn't happened, right? So the competition, the growth of the league, the individual teams, the individual players. I think last year it was the highest it's ever been since we've been back and since the new version of the Big East. But we lost a lot of really good players to graduation in the league or transfers or whatever, the portal, whatever. So do we have the same level of expectations that we had last year? Probably not, but you don't know who's going to step up and do what. Last year, St. John's was picked to finish, 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever, and they had an amazing season. You don't know how teams, individuals that lose really good players, how they're going to respond. And there's kids on those teams that we haven't even talked about. So right now, it doesn't appear to be on paper the same as it was last year, but somehow, some way, it always ends up being a lot more competitive than people give it credit for.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Coach.
So am I.